Have you ever opened an email from the Social Security Administration and felt more confused than informed? Well, you're not alone. In early July, over 90 million Americans received a message from SSA that made a shocking claim that taxes on Social Security benefits were eliminated. But here's the truth, that claim was false. And now, top Democratic lawmakers, including Representative John Larson and every Democrat on the House Ways and Means Committee, are demanding answers. They say the email shattered trust, spread misinformation, and looked more like a political campaign than a government update. In today's video, we're going to break it all down for you. What the email said, why it's misleading, what's really in H.R. 1, and what this means for your future benefits. This goes far beyond a simple email mistake. It could affect how you plan for retirement and taxes. Before we dive in, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Social Security Post. And if you have questions about Social Security, SSI, SSDI, Medicaid, or SNAP, drop them in the comments. I'll reply as soon as I can. On July 3rd, the Social Security Administration sent out a mass email to users of the My SSA online portal. The message claimed that taxes on Social Security were gone, that seniors would no longer have to pay. But here's the problem. That statement simply isn't true. The law in question, H.R. 1, does not eliminate taxes on Social Security benefits. This misinformation came directly from an agency that Americans rely on for clear, accurate information. For decades, SSA has warned seniors to avoid phishing emails and scams, so when a misleading message comes from the agency itself, it understandably shakes public trust to the core. Many who received the email felt confused, misled, and even anxious. Some thought it was a scam. Others believed their benefits had suddenly changed, and unfortunately many may now make financial decisions based on incorrect information. This wasn't just a misstep. According to Democrats on the House Ways and Means Committee, it was a partisan breach of public trust. Representative John Larson and every Democrat on the committee immediately issued a joint letter to SSA Commissioner Frank Bisignano. The letter was firm and direct. The email was factually incorrect. It spread misinformation, and it looked like political propaganda rather than a neutral government update. Here's a direct quote from the letter. Your July 3rd email shattered this well-earned trust. We urge you to immediately contact those who received this misinformation and correct the record. The lawmakers emphasize that SSA has always been seen as a nonpartisan source of truth. For them to send this kind of message, especially during an election year, crossed a serious line. So what's really in H.R. 1? Let's set the record straight. Despite what was claimed in the email and even in some campaign statements, H.R. 1 does not eliminate taxes on Social Security benefits. What it does offer is a temporary income-based deduction for retirement income. This deduction applies broadly to all types of retirement income, including pensions, IRAs, and yes, Social Security, but not exclusively. Even more important, the deduction is set to expire in 2028. That means any benefit recipients may see from this law is short-term, and it doesn't create a permanent change in how Social Security is taxed. On top of that, because the deduction is income-based, many low-income seniors, those who need the most help, may not benefit at all. According to the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, H.R. 1 could actually accelerate Social Security's insolvency by a full year, moving up the projected shortfall from 2033 to 2032. If that happens, all beneficiaries would face automatic across-the-board cuts unless Congress acts. Meanwhile, the bill includes a massive tax break for the wealthiest Americans, the top 0.1% of earners. That's the richest 1 in 1,000. Are expected to receive an average tax break of nearly $309,000 by 2027. Contrast that with working-class seniors who may not see any benefit. And it becomes clear why critics are calling this bill deeply unbalanced. Unsurprisingly, congressional offices across the country have been flooded with calls from constituents asking if they still owe taxes on their benefits. Many thought the email was spam. Others were thrilled, thinking they just received a financial break. But the reality is far more complicated. No one should have to guess what their benefits will look like next year. not when it comes to life-sustaining income. This confusion also creates pressure on SSA and IRS call centers, which are already dealing with staff shortages and long wait times due to recent workforce cuts. The timing couldn't have been worse. While the SSA has quietly updated a press release to remove the false language, they've done nothing to directly correct the original email. This means that millions of Americans who saw the message may still believe it was accurate. The lack of transparency adds another layer of concern. If you sent a message to 90 million people with misleading info, wouldn't you send a follow-up to clarify? So far, SSA has not. The MySSA portal is meant to empower people. It's how beneficiaries track their earnings, plan retirement, and receive vital updates. But now, lawmakers fear many will unsubscribe or opt out of receiving messages altogether, simply to avoid further confusion or political messaging. This could leave millions of seniors and disabled Americans in the dark, missing key information about benefit changes, payment schedules, and eligibility rules. At a time when digital access is more important than ever, especially for rural and disabled communities, misusing communication tools can have real, lasting consequences. The message here is bigger than one email. If Social Security becomes a political football, Americans lose. The agency must maintain its credibility and neutrality. Seniors, disabled adults, and their families depend on SSA not just for checks, but for clarity, truth, and reliability. As we approach 2026 and beyond, confusion about taxes, benefits, and solvency will only grow. The last thing we need is misinformation from the top. The public deserves better, and as lawmakers pointed out, restoring trust will require an apology, a correction, and a commitment to keeping politics out of benefit programs. So if you receive that email from the SSA, remember this: Social Security is still taxable unless Congress passes a new permanent law. H.R. 1 only offers a temporary reduction that won't help everyone, and it may even bring Social Security closer to funding trouble. We'll keep following this story here on Social Security Post, and we'll break down every twist and turn so you can protect your benefits, make smart decisions, and stay informed. If you found this video helpful, please like this video and subscribe to Social Security Post. We post clear, trustworthy updates to help you navigate the changing rules around Social Security, SSI, SSDI, Medicaid, and SNAP. And don't forget, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'll do my best to reply to as many of you as I can. Stay informed, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.